Hey guys, it's Brett from Iron Body Martial Arts. How's it going? The old slogan, in case you don't know, I run a channel here on YouTube that focuses mainly on old style traditional martial arts and conditioning training, and also lots of other aspects of martial arts training. I thought today I would do a bit of a Q&A, a bit of an update on the new Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand training course that I've got coming out on Udemy. So yeah, I thought I'd have a quick chat about that with you guys. Also, the channel has, the YouTube channel's been building a bit more, which is cool. So welcome to all the new subscribers or new people who've shown interest in the channel, and all the old people who've been around forever. Through all the various different YouTube algorithms that kind of bounce your videos around and stop people seeing them. So thanks to all the guys, thanks to all the Patreon guys who've been following on the Patreon. I know times are tough, but yeah, so I thought I would do a bit of just a general update of a lot of things, but also talking about this, the new Iron Hand course, do a bit of a Q&A for anyone who's got any questions about it. I put a lot of time into it. It's been a long time coming, actually, the course. I've been meaning to make it for, God, 5-6 years, maybe more than 6 or 7 years. I just haven't found the time, like when you guys probably know when your training regime is, when you got a lot of training to do, it's hard to find time to sit there and just get some videos made or whatever. But luckily and thankfully, I got a bit of an injury. I pulled a muscle in my side, so I was able to use that as some time to make this course, the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course, which is good. Finally had the chance to make the course. So far it's been well received, so that's cool. I've put a bit of advertising out there about it, and yeah, it looks like the people who follow the channel, thumbs up there, looks like the people who follow the channel are excited about the course. So yeah, that's good to hear. I think there's about an hour and a half of, as I've said, actually no, I haven't said. I forgot. I filmed a video about this course and then I forgot to upload it. But yeah, there's about an hour and a half of video lectures broken down into like 5-minute chunks for anyone wanting to know that. There is extensive links to other resources. There's some articles on there, and finally, of course, there's the fullest version of my Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand training regime. The actual regime that I do over the years is a lot bigger, but I had to boil it down into something that people could at least start with. So yeah, that'll be that. So yeah, the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course. It's going to be out soon, hopefully in the next couple of days. Just also showing my traditional martial arts people on the channel that I haven't lost the love for traditional martial arts. I still keep doing my traditional conditioning training. I still keep doing my Qigong training. Just the other day I was out there on the bag doing some Iron Hand stuff. I'm probably going to go and do some Iron Hand stuff today. I might go to a BJJ lesson today. I went yesterday. I might go today, but I've got some other stuff to do as well. I've got some training to get in. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to get in, really. But yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone out there because the what do you say? It's been a positive response. That's it. It's been a positive response to the Iron Body Martial Arts course so far, which is cool. Positive response, and it's gonna be great to have this resource to refer people to, because that's the problem. Like, lots of people come to me and they say, oh well, where can I start Iron Palm or Iron Hand? How can I start? What conditioning things do I need to do? And if you guys know my channel, it's such a mixed bag of stuff that it's hard to point to any one thing. Because there's so many exercises and a lot to do. So it's great to finally have time to sit down and make a concise concise program that people can follow. With, like I said, with like 18 lectures, all in order. How to get the equipment, what equipment you need. The equipment's very simple. Some of the preliminary exercises. That's another thing with iron hand training and sort of kung fu training. People don't realize, like, a lot of the preliminary exercises are just as important as the main exercises that you do. I suppose it's if you can equate it to like sport or MMA, it would be like trying to be an MMA fighter without doing any like of the cardio training. Yeah, you're just going to you're just going to gas out and get beaten up. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, guys, so just a summary of the course again. There's 18, I think 18, between 16 and 18 lectures. It's about an hour and a half worth of video, but they're broken down into nice little chunks. 6 topics for you guys to go through. 6 topics, so that'll be good. It gives people a really good syllabus to follow. And of course, everyone has videos, has exercises. One of the cool things that are part of the course is the little assignments that you do. So you know, it's not just a case of go through the course and you're on your own. As you go through the course, each part has multiple little assignments. So, you know, you learn about the intro and blah blah blah, then you get an assignment. Look, you know, do this fitness test. You know, in the next parts, you learn about the preliminary exercises, and then the assignment is, okay, practice this one, practice that one, practice it for this long, try this, try that. You go on to the actual iron palm stuff, and there's multiple assignments as well, like practice 5 minutes of this, 10 minutes of that, 10 minutes of that. So it gives you a feel for how long and how much you have to practice, because a lot of people come to me and say, oh, well, how long do I have to do this? How many hits? You know, and that can give you an idea. Also help you to build up your own conditioning regime. You can follow the one in there, but it also helps you to build up your own one. And then finally, there's some practical exercises to make sure people can transfer these iron palm skills to something in front of them. And then there's some breaking stuff for anyone who wants to do any of the breaking. But of course, it takes a while. So you bear in mind that if you're doing all the breaking, it's going to take a while to build up to it. All right, so yeah, that's really that. I've had a lot of questions and stuff in general and comments on the channel, so that's good. But I'll probably save that for another video. I just wanted to talk a bit about the course. I don't think I've had many questions about the course. Yeah, like I said, if there's any on here, then that was what this video was for. But I think it's fairly clean cut what the course is about and what it's for. SB is tell us about the vital points. Oh yeah, hi there, SB. I saw that you put up a comment about making a video about the vital points. Yeah, all the Q-show points and stuff like that. Yeah, there's I actually did do a video years ago, but I think it was when I was in Spain. I was trying to do there was a little pay section of the channel that I tried to do a closed door section of the channel, like I'm sort of doing on Patreon. And I put a video on there. I don't know where it's gone. It should still be on there, but I don't know if I deleted that section because it wasn't quite what I was after. Because I was after the whole closed doors thing and not really after the whole pay thing. But yeah, I could do a video. I could do a video on vital points if that's what people ask. I mean, there's a lot of them. My understanding, there's many people with more understanding of vital points than me, but there's a lot of different striking points of the body. There's obviously proper acupressure points. But then there's also like muscular points, you know, like the mandibular angle. You've got that silly one behind the ear that you shouldn't press, and there's quite a few in the head as well. But the thing with all the vital points is, you know, it's having in real life, it's having the ability to be able to strike and hit them, and also that's another thing, having the conditioning. Yeah, because there's a lot of these points that you can damage and injure on the body, but it's about having to hit them. For instance, under the bone here of the cheek is like a really big nerve bundle. Go and have a look on online or whatever. But yeah, just under the cheek here is a really big nerve bundle. But in order to strike it, you need a really precise hit. Similar to something like this. One of those kakushikens or something like that to strike such a point. And then if you're striking that point, then why not just strike it with a fist or with a hammer fist or something like that. But yeah, because I myself have been struck here. So here's something for you. This is a truth. I've been struck here with a fine hard object, and it actually turned off the nerve in these front two teeth of mine. So I don't have any feeling in these teeth, and the strike itself, like literally incapacitated me for a good few seconds. So I got hit and it was like, oh, so if I was an attacker, if I just attacked someone and I got struck in that point, it would have put me out. But it only put me out for a few seconds. That's what I'm saying. So even if you do hit these big vital points, but yeah, so anyway, I've got hit there, talking about vital points, and it's turned off the nerve. I've still got no nerve in this teeth. Luckily the teeth's alive, but here and here, nerves are dead. And that's due to being struck here, yeah, in this nerve bundle under here. You can press it yourself. Actually, it's still sore. Do you know what? That's like a year later. It's still sore. But anyway, under your cheekbone here, yeah. So we might strike this thing with such a hit as this, yeah. Boom, such a hit as this from like traditional karate, boom, yeah. Or you could, if you punch someone in the face, you might get it. But again, the thing with the vital points is also you've got temples and stuff. The thing with the vital points is that hold on, I've got to separate it. Vital points are different to like pressure points are different to. There's differences, but muscular bundle and nerve bundle striking points, you've got to be. We're talking pseudo, not pseudo, they're not pseudo levels of reality, but they're just pseudo levels of being able to strike correctly and in the right way. Actually, probably one of the best uses for them is that if you're in a grappling situation or, nukite. Matthew Galeo says nukite. Yeah, I wouldn't like to nukite someone there, Matthew, but good point, mate. You can strike lots of points with the nukite as well on different finger needles. But actually, one of the best places for those points, and I can say from like jiu-jitsu and MMA training and whatever, is actually the grappling scenario. Like from real traditional karate when you're actually grabbing and you're holding someone in place and you're striking or whatever, you're defending yourself or someone's grabbing you. Or so for wannabe martial artist, how you doing? So good training, by the way. I've got my friend wannabe martial artist here. He's getting himself in good shape, smashing those workouts. One of the Shane Justice. Shane. Hi there, Shane. How you doing? We're just busy trailing off talking about the striking points. So from a grappling point of view, so I'll give you guys an example. So you guys probably know that if you strike someone in the neck here, it stuns them. Yeah, it stuns them. Yeah, it's funny. It's like judo chop from James Bond, but it does. It actually works. I've been training with partners, training like old style jiu-jitsu, and like hit them there, just training like softly, and they've like nearly got knocked out, stunned. So here's something for you. I've actually used this strike in real life. So I'll tell you when I used it, and if you can either believe me or not believe me. So this was in the UK because I was a policeman in the UK, and this guy threatened to knock out one of my colleagues. So we stood at the door and this guy fancies himself as a bit of a boxer, and he had those dangerous looking fists. When someone who isn't that good, but they punch a lot of things, so they've got one of those big, like broken fists. So I was like, okay, well, this guy could hurt us with this club. So he goes, if you try and get through this door, I'm going to knock you out. And unfortunately, we had to get through the door. So what I've done, believe it or not, it's one of the first times that a complicated joint maneuver has worked for me in real life. So what I've done is, I don't know if you guys know from Aikido. So this is the martial art that everyone flames and says doesn't work. But anyway, like Jiu-Jitsu is the forebear of Aikido, and I've studied a lot of Jiu-Jitsu. So anyway, in Aikido, there's a lock like this called Onkyo. It also exists in Jiu-Jitsu, yeah? So it's where you grab the opponent, I suppose you could call it a sort of Kimura, yeah? But it's trying to Kimura someone, but before they're in Kimura. So in general, what you do is when the attack comes in, or before the attack comes in, which is what I did, you grab the forearm or you grab the wrist. Usually you grab the wrist and you turn the wrist around on them, again, like this, and then they end up like this. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know the lock, but anyway, long story short, because I know the lock, I was in big slash-proof gloves. So this guy's gone, I'm going to knock you out. And I knew that in these gloves I wouldn't have the dexterity to grab the hand, and also the hand is a fine point. So real life combat. So this is like chinna, or what you call grappling or jiu-jitsu. So real life combat, I knew that I don't have the time to grab this guy's fine joint, because in real life you can't. It's difficult. It can slip. I've had it happen to me before. So I grabbed the forearm and then I completed that lock. So I've grabbed the forearm. I've completed that lock. So for anyone who's just joined in, we're talking about a real situation where I've used Kyusho points, but first I actually managed to use a lock or a joint manipulation on an attacker when I was a policeman in the UK who was trying to knock out my colleague. So anyway, this guy's gone like this. He's made that aggressive motion. I've grabbed his arm at the hip. I've turned underneath it, because that's how you put the lock on. And this is the point where we've used the strike. Where I'm going to tell you. So the lock's been applied. He's fought against the lock, which is just like pushed him back. We've fallen on the floor, and this is, sorry guys, I always digress, but this is the point where the real, say, Kyusho or pressure point comes in, or striking or striking area, because what I've done is, once the guy was on the floor, so also once he's on the floor and he can't move anywhere, bear in mind he was trying to knock us out, that's the point where I've used the forearm bone, and I've hit him 3 times. So I didn't bother trying to use my hand, although I suppose I could have, but I've used the forearm bone because, again, it's gross, and I've struck him 3 times there, and that's put the fight out of the guy. Yeah, it didn't knock him out cold. It obviously interrupted his nervous system and his brain, and it kind of stunned him, and he just had nothing else in him, and he then just looked up and he was like, I give up. Yeah, so he went from I'm going to knock you all out to I give up. So going back to that, we were talking about the Kyusho points and striking points and stuff. So I would suggest those points are really useful in close quarter grappling. They are useful in self-defense, but I think a lot of people think of them as how they would think of like a sport combat fight or a spar, where like you're here and I'm here, and then you go to kick for me or you go to punch for me, and I do like some Kyusho move and hit you, and then you lose. No, I don't perceive that that's the best way they would ever work, because who's got that, unless you're drunken master. That's an example of how it does work, or how it's worked for me, where you're in a grappling situation, and that's when you might pressurize or strike one of these softer muscular points. Someone did ask, how do they, because I guess this video was ultimately about the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course. Well, that course is, I've on the, what is it? on the Instagram page, I've been advertising it a bit, and there's a prelim introductory video on this page, which is the introductory video to the course. But anyway, long story short, it'll be on udemy.com, the Iron Hand course, within the coming days. But that Iron Hand course isn't Q-show and pressure points. It's the training. It's the Iron Body Martial Arts training you require it's my summarized training of the Iron Hand program that I do. So yeah, that's what that is. For summary for people, it's like 18 lectures, an hour and a half of video, plus all the links to extra videos and resources. It's got some articles in there. Wannabe martial artist. Well, I'm glad to hear you're excited about it, my man. Well, I was saying before, it's great because it's finally a resource I can refer people to. I've been trying to sit down and I refer people off to my videos and my channel. And in this channel is a bit like a dojo, I guess, where you've kind of got to hang around and dig for the valuable information. So people ask me, how do I start this Iron Body training? How do I start the Iron Body martial arts? And I send them like, go have a look at this video, or go on to Patreon. But the thing is, Patreon's good, but they haven't quite refined their framework to a point where I could do the same thing. Like, I couldn't do what I've done here on Patreon. So to have this course that now, as a base, I can go, guys, look, there's an hour and a half of lectures, nicely filmed, annotated with music and stuff. There's an hour and a half of those specially filmed for you guys to watch in 5-10 minute chunks, organized into introduction, prelim materials, little activity, little practical activities for you guys to do, fitness tests, stuff like that. It's going to be great. Then not to mention there's 6 sections. Not to mention the this whole section on the iron hand training skills, 1,000 layers of paper, standing like a pile, striking a pile, and they're all old 72 secret arts of the Shaolin and other traditional kung fu training methods. And the good thing about them is they're all ones that I've been training. And they're all ones that I've trained for years. So if you guys haven't seen that intro video, let's go and have a look and see if it inspires you to have a go. So it'll be awesome to send people to that. It's great. Also, it will be updated. There's already some stuff I want to update onto it, but I'm just not sure whether I'm going to update it with like a further course, which is like, obviously, that's the base course. Like, you know how you buy a computer game, you buy the core game, and then you get like an add-on. So what I might do is update it with just like a little add-on course that's a whole lot cheaper, obviously, for people that have already done that one. Just to keep it in some sort of order. Because again, like my friend said here, SB, there's a Zion head and stuff like that. There's a whole array. On that course anyway, there's 5 minutes and there's a talk about Qigong, and there's some really quick, Shane Justice been learning Iron Hand and Iron Palm for so long. Oh, brilliant, Shane. Well, yeah, it might help you, man. You might not need it, so I'm just saying, for anyone interested in it, please have a look. But you might not need it, but it is a comprehensive, and it is the Iron Body Martial Arts. Like, I call it the Iron Body Martial Arts method, but it's like an amalgamation of all the methods I've used to train. Sorry, not all. It's the most. I can't even say the most. I've used so many different methods. Put it this way, it's the most recent ones and the oldest ones that I think are the most effective. So yeah. Also effective in a lot of ways, injury-wise. Like there's some ways of training Iron Fist and Iron Palm that are just so hard on your body that you just can't train them. So what I've tried to do is be a bit responsible to the student, take some of the knowledge that I've learned over these 19 years and go, well, I know that method, but I'm not gonna tell them that method in this, because this method is just as good and it's not gonna smash them as much. there's some hard methods out there. So yeah, it's great to have martial artists like your guys selves interested in such a course. It's great, and yeah, it'd be great to send people that way. The only thing is, at the moment, the price point is something I'm toying with. I've had a look at other courses on Udemy. Obviously, I need to price it so that people see the value in it. You know, so if I sell it for like $10, everyone will be like, oh, it's garbage. Plus, it's worth more than $10. So yeah, at the moment, it's going to be retailing at less than 70 American dollars, which is a lot of money. But if you put it in the context, I mean, I've put at least 40 hours into it. That's filming, that's editing, yeah, I've put a lot of hours into it. And certainly if I went to work, I would make more than that amount of money in 40 hours. So I put 40 hours of hard work into it. Not to mention the knowledge, the training, the techniques, the methods. So we'll see, guys. Oh, sorry. Shane said he's been wanting. Sorry, Shane. I thought you said you've been learning. Well, mate, honestly, if you've been wanting to learn about it, now I'll just say this to you, Shane. You can go on my channel here. You can find lots of stuff. You can go online. You can go on other channels. So there's lots of free information about Iron Palm and stuff. And I've been giving free information for 9 years here on YouTube. So you don't have to buy this Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course. That's not what I'm saying to you guys. What I'm saying to you guys is that it is finally, I've had the time to make a package that I can give to people. That's the thing that I'm happy about. But of course, the package, now that I've put all that specific time into it, I am charging for. So let me guys know what you think about the pricing point. I know $70 is a lot of money. I didn't want to price people out of it. One thing I am going to do though is for you guys on here, for you guys on here, for like subscribers, going to give them a discount. For people on Patreon, depending on how long they've been on there, I'm going to give them a discount. Even previous people on Patreon who've left, I'm going to be contacting them to give them a discount. The cat has decided to visit us all. So what do you want? I want something. That's why it visits. Yeah, guys. So yeah. So I'm loyal to people who are loyal to me. You know. Also, there's lots of guys on here who've been following the channel and following the YouTube for a long time. So I'll be offering them discounts. I'll stop talking about it in a second, but I'll be offering a code. So the way it's going to be is I've opted out from all the Udemy sales stuff. And I'm going to be offering a code that I'll send to people, and then if you use that code within 24 hours, you get the discount, which is good. So all the guys who follow will get the discount, get things a little bit cheaper. My cat has iron paw. This bloody cat, look how fat it is. It's huge. It's a Maine Coon. It's American cat in Australia. It's actually my wife's cat, but yeah, it's our cat. It visits me. SB was talking about Iron Head. Iron Head training, unfortunately, does not feature in my course because I had to draw the line somewhere. There's a lot of material in the course that I had to cut. I filmed and had a lot of material, but I'm gonna have, because I think someone asked me as well, does it have iron shin training and stuff like that? Now it does include a basic method for training your shin. Well, that's a bit above basic because people in MMA don't even train it. So it's more like a medium to hard style Muay Thai method of training your shin, but it is a kung fu method. So it includes that as one of the preliminary exercises for your body. So it does actually show you how to begin iron body training and how to begin iron shin training if you need to, but that's just as a side thing. That's not the topic of the course. So that's why I had to cut some things. So there's no iron head in the course. But SB, if you want to, my plan is I'm going to be releasing future courses because also the way Udemy makes you structure things is great for syllabuses. Yeah, and that you can write them all out. It gives you time to sit there and think. And then because you're getting a monetary advantage, like if I ran a school, I would write a syllabus and I'm getting a monetary advantage. But because it makes you do that, yes, it took. Oh, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool, Shane. Shaolin Kung Fu. JP Martek. The course doesn't include how to make Dittajo, but it does include a section on Dittajo, and it does include a section on substitutions. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've trained for many years without Dittajo. I wish I'd found it sooner. I've always known about it, but with the areas in the world where I was, I couldn't get it, or I didn't have the money, or I've lived in a lot of very rural areas where, like, I lived in rural England where I'm not there anymore, but where if you go to, where the hell are you going to get Dittajo from? And also, don't forget, guys, when we're talking about my training or your training, I'm sure you take it back. We're talking 19 years. So 19 years ago, I started Iron Palm and all this, and the internet was in its infancy. There's no YouTube, there's no nothing. So we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever until the world even got to the point where people like me could readily access online buying, online this. Yeah, so guys are in America are lucky because there's a big Iron Palm thing in America. But anyway, another good thing about the course, as you guys are listening, is the great thing about the course is the equipment you will need. Is very small. It's simple equipment. So you don't have to try and source iron bags, iron filings and all that. I've been training Iron Palm for 19 years, and it's only in the last year that I've managed to get myself iron filings. I got some steel ball bearings for a time, but they were expensive. So yeah, sorry, my wife's messaged me. Yeah, oh yeah, wannabe 10-pound bag of beans. Yeah, great. And of course, the course covers all those things. But there was a point I was talking about Iron Head. There was another question. I don't know how to get the questions up. No. Oh, there they are. Oh, Dittajo. Yeah, so it's that's for JP Martex. Yeah, so it includes substitutions, man. So other stuff you can use, other things you can look out for, and of course where you can buy Dittajo. The cool thing is these days, man, Dittajo is so easy to buy now. Even if you go to like massage shops, like I went to our local like Chinese acupuncture place. And they basically sold me Dittajo. It's a Chinese main brand. The Dittajo it's easy to make. If you want to know how to make it, I've got videos on how to make it, but it's really easy these days, guys. You buy the bag of herbs, you chuck the stuff in. But yeah, I use Plum Dragon herbs, Dittajo, because I've been working with the Plum Dragon herbs for a couple of years. The whole reason I got to doing this course was because about 6 years ago they contacted me. They wanted me to make them an Iron Palm training DVD. Unfortunately, at the time, I wasn't able to make it, because of family circumstances and this, that, and the next thing. So yeah, excuse me. Just messaging my missus. Iron Head. So SB asked about Iron Head. Iron Head See, I trained iron head for quite a while, and I still keep it topped up. But I probably can't say I'm any more an iron head practitioner. But then I guess you train the skills for some years, and then you just keep them topped up. I could be a hell of a lot better. But headstands is where it's at. Yeah, that's all you need to know for iron head for most levels. Yeah. So all do is headstands. Now don't do them on the floor like I did at first, because then you get like a hard point on your skull. So my skull's been deformed now. I used to have a normal skull. Now I've got a ridge on the tip of my head. Because I used to I was doing the iron head training, and then I thought it would be a good idea to move on from doing it the normal way to doing it then onto like bricks. So I'd put bricks out and I'd do the iron head onto it. The funny thing about doing iron head, and only the people who've done it will know whether I'm speaking the truth here or not, is when you hear the stress fractures going on in your skull, that's not nice to hear your own skull like creaking. Yeah. Well, that's why you don't do it by striking. You just do it by pressure. Yeah? Yeah, and you do your Qigong, but in essence, you just do yogic headstands. That's all you do. Yeah? So, you know the yogic headstand where you do, you go onto your head, you're on a mat, you hand your hands behind your head, and then you push your body up and you're supporting your head and neck by your arms, and you're on the head. You do those for quite a while of time, do them until they're really easy, and then you focus on doing it just with removing your hands on like a wall, and just taking the pressure, and that's pretty much how you do iron head training, static pressure. Yeah, so I also started doing the striking. I was doing like striking on the sandbags, but I wouldn't recommend doing that to you, because you can damage your eyes. Yeah, so the only thing I would strike my head with, I don't advise striking your head. Another thing with iron head is a lot to do with how you position your spine. Yeah, so like for instance, if my neck's just like this, if my neck's just kind of like this and stupid, I get hit on the head. I get hit on the head, and the forces are gonna leak everywhere. Yeah, it's like if my finger's like this and I'm pushing it, look how weak it is. It just breaks. Yeah, look, it bends. But if my finger is straight, yeah, it can do a lot. Yeah, if it's straight. So that's the same. So when you're practicing iron head, you've got to think of your spine and your body as that straight finger. If there's any kinks or divots that aren't properly aligned, the forces aren't going to transmit properly. Yeah, so that's why you practice iron head by doing headstands. Yeah, because you learn how all the supporting muscles are strong. The weight of your head on the floor, but on a towel or something. Traditionally, or in a pot of sand with a cover over it. Yeah, the weight of all the stuff around your head, pressing with the weight of your body, that's what makes your skull thicker. Yeah, and then after a long time of that, you can start doing like maybe a little bit striking, but I wouldn't recommend striking. So I went from that to then pinpoint iron head, where I would just do iron head on like a brick. Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's like made the top of my head, like if I shave my head I look stupid. I used to have a flat head, now I've got like a thing, where's the thing? I'll show you. Oh, I don't know, this is stupid. I've only got this stupid Glen 20 bottle, but yeah, so you can crinkle up you can't see it, it's a pressurized canister, but the cats run away. Yeah, but don't hit your heads with things, it's dumb, but and there's a way you have to do your jaw. You put the tongue on the roof of your mouth, you align your spine, but it's really a thing, so it's all crinkled, but it's silly. Don't hit your head, please, with stuff. Don't hit your head. Yeah, laughing. I'll find something else. What I was trying to hear for you guys is the sound. And this is even at hardly a decent level of iron head. So yeah, there's like a metal spoon. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, and I've just got like a silly hard lump on the top of my head, yeah, like a bone thing, yeah, and you can hear the difference, yeah, you can hear the difference in the sound when depending on the thicker bit that you hit. But yeah, don't hit your head with stuff. And the only other thing I was going to say is if you do, I'll just rub my head. Isn't that funny? Hey, when you bang your head in real life, you rub it, you go oh, and then obviously part of the sort of Qui Gong for iron head is also rubbing your head. Yeah, so that's funny. But no, this is mainly from before this, what's left over. But that's what I was going to say. So don't strike. And if you are going to strike, use only the brushes, like the bamboo brush or the metal brush. Yeah, I don't advise using the metal brush. But whatever you hit with has to not push the force into the skull. Yeah, because the main problem is you can damage your eyes. And you don't damage them in a magical, mystical way. You damage them through the nerve getting shook. Yeah, you don't want to shake your brain at all. Yeah, we don't want. That's part of. Sorry, we trailed off onto iron head, but that's part of my understanding of iron head is that if the bone is thick, what's this? Oh yeah, sorry, I think someone said, Jesus, what, you can damage your eyes. Yeah, if the bone is thick and the of the spine are aligned like that finger we were talking about, then the forces will transmit, yeah, around. But if the bone is not thick and not trained, then it goes in more, yeah. It's like anything, yeah. And then you talk about energies or whatnot, but yeah. Anyway, SB, that's iron head. Sorry, man. We trailed off onto iron head. Do you know the best thing about iron head training is actually just the neck and stuff. So going to the MMA club here, obviously doing the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and stuff. I've had people who've been doing wrestling for quite a long years or jiu-jitsu, and when they attack my neck or head or something, they're like, oh shit, man. They always say, like, I've had a few people say, oh, your neck's really strong. Your neck's really strong. So that's the only reason I would advise people to actually train iron head training is because doing the headstands strengthens your neck. Yeah, I guess it strengthens your head and neck. But then you've got the same sort of thing in wrestling where you do, because I do the back bridge on your head, where you do the back bridge and you rock. And front bridge, where you put your head on the front and you rock on the floor. And then I do the headstands against the wall. Of course, make sure you've got something soft down there so it spreads the force over the whole skull. And then there's also the more traditional method, which is having like a sand pit or a little sand pot that literally with a wrapped head, like you wear a hat or you cover the sand, and then the whole head like indents into it. Like it's the whole like golden bell idea. This freaking all the golden bells for the body, but it's it's like a freaking. Yeah, you see those Shaolins, they've all got like the same head. It's from that method. It's because they're not just training one bit of the head, it's the whole head that gets trained. Anyway, that's enough of that. But yeah, some cool questions there, guys. The cat came and visited us. I've had, so all the conditioning training, it's been great. It's been helping with the MMA stuff. I made a video about it yesterday, but then I never posted it up because I do that a lot. I make videos and then I don't post them up. But in general, it's not going to make you Superman, but it's going to help out. I've been trying to slowly introduce this idea of the conditioning training and stuff to people who do MMA or modern sport combat, because there's a lot of especially younger guys who come into it, and they just do MMA, but they actually, there's so much for them to do, like I'm in the MMA fight club now. There's so much stuff for them to learn, and there's so much stuff to learn just anyway, all the combos and the movement and all the stuff that you would use for sport combat and fighting, and timing and ring craft. So it's kind of funny, because it's almost like how traditional martial artists don't find time to do conditioning. So it's funny because, like even like MMA guys don't have time to do conditioning, so yeah, I'm trying to spread this message of conditioning. Wannabe martial artist said he wants to see what his traditional training would do for him in the ring. Well, exactly, guys, and that's why I've gone to this MMA fight club now. I was meant to be doing a jiu-jitsu competition in next weekend, but I pulled my freaking intercostal muscle doing jiu-jitsu. So yeah, then unfortunately I took time off work, and now I've had to can this. I've had to can the little competition, which would have been fun. But no, I've actually joined this fight club to eventually go and do like some professional fights or something. Now already, because I've been doing some videos on the benefits. Now, I've actually had quite a lot of people flame me about coming from sport combat or coming from like Muay Thai, which is funny, and flame me about, doing horse stance training and stance training. Now, the moment you get to wrestling, stance training comes into its own. Because I'm wrestling guys there who've done ground wrestling or grappling or whatever you want to call it for like 10 years. One of the guys done no-gi grappling for 10 years. Other people, it's a mixed bag of people. It's a mixed bag of sizes. But, what do people always do, and what do they do in jiu-jitsu? They're on the floor, and wannabe martial artists will know this because he's got a wrestling background. They try and hook under your foot, pull and push you down. Oh, excellent, SB. Yeah, you send a link to that. But anyway, people trying to push you down, they're trying to pull you over, they're trying to lift you off the ground. And honestly, nothing is better, or nothing helps me, like from the moment I've started, than the stance stuff, man. Because someone goes to sweep my leg. Okay, it doesn't work all the time, but someone goes to like pull my leg out from under me and sink down into a low stance. They then transfer a lot of engine onto that leg, and I just rock back onto the other side, and I'm able to I'm able to have a good benefit from the low stance training compared to a lot of the people I'm training with, who you can literally just, like, with your hand, you can, like, if you're on the floor, you can kind of hook their leg and just flip them over, so I've already found the benefit of traditional martial arts and stance work for wrestling. So that translates to the ring, that translates to MMA, takedown defense. I've already found that's a great help. With regards to the iron palm and stuff like that, I did a video the other day. Really, your fist is all covered, so it's really only going to be like power transfer, and you've had a few of the MMA guys come forward, like some of the UFC fighters come forward. Is it Sonnen? Wonderboy came forward the other day, and he's been putting videos up about his Makiwara training that his dad's had him doing, and how he's done like 70 fights, and he's only broken his like hand once or two times, which is great that you've got these kind of MMA figureheads now, like Wonderboy, who are coming forward and being like, yeah, man, this conditioning is a thing, as opposed to a lot of the community out there who are probably only the hobby community, who come along and they're like, no, you don't do conditioning, it's a waste of your time. So yeah, want to be martial artist in an amateur fight in the next 2 to 3 months. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah, yeah. I've never really had the want to do it, but I thought, oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh, actually, I did a few years ago, um, but yeah, yeah. I'll see how it happens. The reason I'm hesitating is because at the moment I'm not. I'm a bit unhappy with the speed at which this process is going on at the moment. Like that's a problem with big clubs or big fight clubs or MMA clubs or whatever. When there's a lot of people training, you can just you can get stuck in on the outskirts. You can't cover well, one, you can't cover much in a lesson. Um, there's that many people, there's so many different varying levels. So actually in my MMA club, well, not mine personally, it's not my club, I don't own it, but in the one I'm training at, uh, I've wanted to see. I wanted to try and get into more of the advanced classes, um, but I have to learn more of like their style and their way of doing things. But that frustrates me because I see maybe 4 or 5 guys. I walk in, I see 4 or 5 guys, and I'm like, man, I want to go and train with those guys. Like that's where I want to be every day. Those guys are lifting each other, flipping, smashing each other. They've got good striking skills. They're strong. I'm like, I want to train with those guys. And then obviously because I'm new to the club, well, I've been there like a month and a bit. It's like, no, you can't train with those guys because you might slow them down. You're going to go with all those people. Want to be martial artist is not even part of a club. Oh well, there we go, mate. Just keep training your skills that you're training. Well, like I was doing, just keep doing your thing, keep training your skills. Um, I've found that traditional conditioning training has set me up probably better for doing that than if I'd done that sort of training on my own because it's kind of tougher and it builds your body more, so it's built my toughness more. So if I'd just done traditional sport training at home here, like punching my boxing bag, I don't feel I would benefit as much, because I'm bringing to that things that I couldn't have got from there, if that makes sense. So that's another reason to do traditional martial arts and conditioning training at home yourself, and develop a program or get the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course and do those things, because you bring to the game something which the game couldn't provide you, if you get what I mean. Yeah, so that's why I'm sort of happy with that. What else? There was one other thing I was going to say. I'm going to try today, because you guys have probably seen I've got my tree station here that I've been working with my boxing bag and some pads hung on it and stuff. So I'm going to try today. I was doing my makiwara on there, but I'm going to try today wrapping my whole tree in an old carpet, the whole thing. It's only a little length of carpet, and using that for striking the forearm bones and the inside and the arm of the guard, and also getting the legs and the shins training going a bit more. Because I have been using a pad on the tree, but I haven't been striking. Well, I've been striking the whole tree a little bit, but yeah, I want to bring back that skill which I used to do a bit more. So the Shaolin skill for that would be standing like a pile, striking a pile. So that's where you have an upright post of wood, and you strike it, with palms, with the inside and outside of your arms. You butt it with your shoulders, with your chest. You do mock throws on it. You butt it with your sides. You butt it with your back. You turn at it with your elbows. You can see you can see the kind of motions that you're doing at it. You butt it with your head, but obviously don't do that. And you can do it if you're crazy like me. The flats of your feet, and that's a famous and long used training method. But because I've got a tree and it's not a post, hopefully it should be good. Although it won't move, because technically you want a bit of movement in the object, and that's why I'm wrapping it. Yeah, because if ever there's a lot of different theories to the striking and stuff, but usually if you're striking something hard, you want it to move a little, like the makiwara. But if you're striking something hard and it doesn't move at all, like a steel bar or a big fat tree, then sometimes it's best to wrap it in just a little layer of something soft. You're kind of training sort of cotton palm, cotton skills. If that means anything to people, it's when you wrap something hard in something soft. It's like a kung fu method that was used, whether it works or not, but it was used in their mindset to try and penetrate, the soft and get to the hard. It's a whole nother way of training iron palm as well. But that's not the. Oh, actually, I do make mention of cotton palm in my video, in my thing. Which is good. That's one thing I wanted to say. I think a reason wannabe martial artists, he says, is that because of energy referral back into your body. I think partly, man, it's meant to save the joints. Then you've got Chinese medicine stuff about it disrupting like your organs in your body and being bad for this and bad for that. So, somewhere in between those lines is the truth, somewhere. JP Master Tech says, Bruce Lee said, be like water, learn what works and disregard the rest. Yeah, exactly. And again, everyone has their own, What works for me might not work for you. Different body sizes, different shapes, it's all good. There's a lot of, I don't know what you guys think, but there's a lot of like disrespect online and disrespect in the martial arts community and stuff. The online community is terrible for it. With all these martial arts, these hate channels and stuff like that. And my view is that as long as someone's not hurting anyone else and they're not claiming fraudulent stuff that could hurt other people, just everyone's journey is their own. Yeah. SB says you forgot one thing, celibacy. Yes, well, here's another thing. So, there's a whole concept in Shaolin Kung Fu and in Chinese martial arts about preserving like the shen or your energy or there's fluids and leaking and stuff like that. So there's this whole theology on retaining your vital energy. And obviously for a man, their understanding was different to ours, but they had a very advanced understanding. Their whole, for a man, that's your like testosterone. And where does your testosterone come from? Obviously, we know where it comes from. It comes from what do you call it? Well, we all know where it comes from, but what's the prostate? I don't know, I have a daughter and I feel stronger than ever. Here, wannabe martial artists. So yeah, anyway, we know where it comes. It's the male reproductive system. So yeah, there's this whole philosophy and theology about when you train these things, like abstaining from anything to do with releasing the male reproductive system. You have to kind of keep it in control. So that's what SB was saying there. But that even has that has scientific value, because what a fighter's not meant to do before you fight. Like a month before your fight, you're not meant to have, not allowed to have sex, not allowed to do anything like that. And that's still recommended today. So it's a thing, because it's your testosterone basically. So the guys of the past were trying to maintain their testosterone levels so that their body was maintaining musculature, repairing, etc., etc. Probably if you analyzed it, JP Master Tech's Iron Palm and Body is an all-round thing that should be trained by serious martial artists. Yeah, I think, man. I mean, everyone has the right to train and not train what they want, but everyone also goes on about all these methods being secret, and there's some things of them that are secret, but as with a lot of historical stuff, if something historically was very common, it was often not recorded and not referred to, and just glazed over, So I think that also goes for conditioning and stuff. Like if you go back hundreds of years to the Shaolin Temple, to traditional Kung Fu, to even medieval knights, like the idea of fighting or anything, pugilism, without conditioning, it's just preposterous. It's funny because as a guy who lives as a really good instructor of traditional Kung Fu and Karate here, who I've just recently been talking to and I've met, and he, similar to this standing like a pile, striking a pile skill, I went to his place and he has wooden posts dug in the ground, but they're wrapped in foam and stuff, and what do you call padding. And I saw them and I went, man, I really like your makiwaras, because he's got like these, like a solid wooden post dug into the ground, wrapped with a bit of padding and tape, and then he's got like a focus mitt on it and he's taped that up. And I said, wow, yeah, I really like your makiwara, because that's the stuff I always used to do. I just never made one. I'd get a focus pad, I'd tie it to a tree, or I'd wrap a towel in a tree and I'd punch and strike that. And he was like, no. He's like, it's a pel. This is a pel. And I'm like, well, I was like, what's a pel? I've never heard of a pel. What's a pel? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you call it a makiwara, but this isn't a makiwara. Obviously, it differs from a makiwara because they flex, but I just called it for want of a better term. But he was like, no, this is a pel, or some kind of or pile. He was like, no, pel's an ancient English boxing tool from before, when they had boxing bags. And I was like, what do you mean before they had boxing bags? And he's like, yeah, well, they didn't, even in medieval ancient times, he's like, well, they didn't always have like boxing bags, and for their stick fighting and their fist fighting, he was like, they used to put a piece of wood into the ground and wrap it in hay or whatever, and then wrap it in cloth, and you would strike that. So I was like, man, this is so cool, You will see more from me and that guy. His name is Sifu, or Sensei Tim Michelin. So I'm going to do a whole series of videos with him. This guy, he's an awesome guy. For my traditional fans of traditional martial arts, we're talking someone who's trained in Okinawa. He's in his, I think he's in his 50s. He's trained in Okinawa with all the big names of traditional Okinawan karate. The senseis who are now very old, and he's studied a lot in Okinawa. He reads Japanese, he writes Japanese, he speaks Japanese, but he also trains in, I forget the style of Kung Fu that he called it now, but he also trains in a specific style of Kung Fu. So what a great guy to meet. I've only recently met him. I've kept it on the down low because I'm going to be doing some stuff with him. But yeah, awesome stuff. I haven't put too much pressure on him at the moment because he's recovering from a rather serious illness. So he's kind of been chatting to him. The Wannabe Martial Artist says that'd be a great collab. But yes, it will. The Wannabe Martial Artist, because I'll say this for you guys here. This guy, Tim Michelin, he's an English guy. He is a very, very high-level martial artist. a true budoka, kobudo. So he knows the Japanese art of weapons use, traditional Okinawan. He's a Goju Ryu practitioner, I think, or those traditional style, or a few traditional styles of Okinawan karate. And yeah, also kung fu. So he's got the kung fu there in it. So what an awesome guy. So I will be doing more with him. I've just met him once. We've talked a bit. I've met him in person once. I went to his dojo. I trained with him. I took a video of that when I went training with him, of him doing a form. But like I said, I haven't put anything up about it yet because he's recovering from a rather very serious illness. I don't want to put the pressure on him. But as a human being, I very much liked to meet him and speak to him, and we were going to be doing some more stuff together. So yeah, that's awesome. We've looked at the links between we've been discussing the links between iron wire, so like the Hungar iron wire form, which I very much like, and things like Sanshin, the Sanshin, the battles form Sanshin from traditional Okinawan karate. So there's lots of cool stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. In essence, it's great to have, this guy is probably one of the highest level mentors or master instructors, whatever you want to call them, that I've met in my life so far. So he's a really nice guy. I've only just met him. He's welcomed me into his dojo. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, because it's a lot more traditional stuff. And just before I go, his dojo is awesome. He's got an outside dojo, and like I said, he's got a wooden dummy. He's got these boxing pels. He's got other kinds of kung fu wooden dummy with the two arms sticking out. I went there and actually I was practicing sticky hands with this student. We were doing sticky hands, which is just an exercise. It's a training exercise. It's just like a flow exercise. Yeah. So that was fun. So yeah, I look forward to bringing you guys content about that. So I'm just checking what the time is, because I've got a jiu-jitsu lesson at 12. The wannabe martial artist. Next time I'm in Australia, I'll collaborate with you. Yeah, well, that'd be great, man. If you're ever here, when any of us are ever going to be able to travel, who knows? Because this COVID-19, just hope everyone's all right out there. Yeah. So, well, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me here. I will keep you all updated on the Iron Body Martial Arts Iron Hand course. And then when it comes out, I will give you guys a link. And that's how links are given, like this. So that you can go on and get like a discount for it. If you want to buy it, you don't have to. You can just look at a lot of other stuff on my channel and free stuff, or lots of other channels or lots of other people. So yeah, but yeah, if you haven't seen here's thumbs up. If you haven't seen the little intro video that I've done, have a look. It's just the video before this. I think quite a few people have seen it now, a few hundred, or have at least looked at it. So yeah, it's got a lot of some archive footage, some old footage, which I've built into it just to show the training progression. Not as part of the course, as part of the intro video, but also as part of the course. All the footage in the course is new, filmed, nicely done. Music, annotations. I've tried to, at least make it as professional quality. It's filmed in HD, 1080p, 60 frames. So hopefully that translates nicely to people. Oh, I want to be martial artist saw it. Yeah, man. And actually, one of the things I'm excited about, and for people, is a lot of people ask me about like breaking. Yeah. And at the end of the course, although I put a little bit of a warning there and there's some information I give people, at the end of the course, there's a 15-minute breakdown video, which isn't complicated. But what I've done is I've taken the breaks that you see in that intro and other breaks. I've taken them. I've put the full versions there. And then I've also got stills and I've broken down the way the forces work and how you should set things up if you want to try to do those exercises, to do those breaks, try those things. Unfortunately, there isn't any tricks. But what I also go into is the main types of breaks. So what I did is, there's a picture of me standing with the breeze blocks below me. I've freeze framed that, and then I've used a drawing tool to draw stills of each kind of like traditional break. So for instance, you've got like the edge break, you've got the slam break, you've got the flat break. So I've gone into all. You've got the side break where you see people hold things at the side, like Masutaka Oyama used to do. So I've gone into all the kind of famous breaks that you see, as many of the ones as I can remember. There's only about 6 or 7. I've gone into those and I've annotated them and shown kind of how the forces work if you want to try them. Yeah, I've also said on that, I've also said on that which breaks are like good breaks, which breaks are actually worth you bothering, and which breaks are just like for show, for play. So that's a bit of the video that I'm quite excited about, because yeah, it'll give, once people have done the course, once they've done the training, it'll give them a chance to go, oh, okay, so I'll set up a few breaks so you can even learn the breaks. It doesn't mean you'll be able to do them, unfortunately. Denny Craig's joined. Denny Crane here, if you see him, he's been doing, so he studies MMA, this guy who just joined. He's been training MMA and kickboxing for quite a few years. Or he used to train kickboxing, he stopped. He's training MMA now. He's training in a fight club, or was in Melbourne, I think. Is it Melbourne? Before the thing closed, before COVID closed. But Danny Craig's been working with me for about 8 months or so, because he wanted Melbourne, sorry, there he is. He wanted to get his conditioning regime up, yeah, for when he went to the fight club. But he also wanted the bare knuckle stuff, so that's what we were talking. So now he's got himself to a point where, because he went to his club and everyone has to wear gloves and they're striking the boxing bag. But then he noticed, when he took the boxing gloves off and he was trying to do those same strikes, his wrists would bend, his fists would buckle, he would get cuts and rips, and he just wouldn't be able to do what he could do like without gloves on. So yeah, he worked with me, and now after about 8 months, he's been training for about 8 months or so. He's got himself to an awesome point where he's been doing the exercises. He's been training the shins. He's got great shins. I keep trying to get him to put videos up of him and doing his shins training. And mostly of all, for him, one of his favorite things is he's developed his knuckles and his thing from weak to strong. So now he can go on his boxing bag and he can punch them bare knuckle. And that's one of the benefits of the iron hand training and the iron fist training, is that he can punch the bag bare knuckle, and he's not getting the bend and the twizzle. Yeah. And what that translates to real life, being able to do what you can do in the gym on the street. But also for the gym and for a fight, it translates to, for an MMA fight, it translates to delivering more power, being more resilient, and not breaking your body weapons. So yeah, that's Denny Craig there. Mud 111 said, "Are you based in Australia?" I said, "Yes, I am." So yeah, that's what Denny Craig's been doing. Denny Crane there, who's just posted up here. So again, Denny Crane's ticking along in the background. So he's someone who's been working with me in the background, and he's got a lot to say. I believe someone commented on one of my videos, and Denny Craig put one of the best comments about conditioning, for like a sport combat arena that I've seen, So yeah, it was a good comment anyway. So yeah, Denny Crane, he's done great. It's been all under wraps, but he's done great success, and I'm very proud of his accomplishments so far. Yeah, and even his knuckles, because his hand and his knuckle compared to what it was 8 months ago. His knuckles have, developed, and the main thing is that bend, that wrist bend. That no wrist bend. Well, a lot less wrist bend. And actually, recently he contacted me because I did that video of the ground and pound and the kind of wrestling floor stuff with just showing off the iron palm, and it was interesting because to me that was just normal, but actually Denny Crane contacted me and he said, oh shit, Brett, like I tried your ground stuff for doing sort of ground strikes on a grounded opponent as if I was in like an MMA kind of wrestling situation, and I was on mount. And he said, I didn't realize, but I've actually, I got things good standing up, but I see now the different angles of the striking has now made it more difficult again. And it's like hurting my hands in other ways that I didn't know. So yeah. So he's been working on that as well, So there we go. That's for wannabe martial artist. Denny Crane's a good guy to speak to on how like IBMA or conditioning training will help your things. But yeah, wannabe knows. There's Denny Crane. So what do we got? How do I get these? I don't know how I get these things to go working. So yeah. Oh, there we go. So yeah. So that's Denny Crane for you. So Denny Crane, good work, brother. And it's difficult for everyone, I know, because I know Denny Crane's been training in, like he's COVID-19'd into a little flat in Melbourne. So he's got like his boxing bag like leant up against like a pillar. He has to sort of half crouch down to use it. He's got his bamboo beater thing for his shins. And yeah, it's not ideal. I think the only thing Denny Crane doesn't do is the iron palm training. So he's used the bone conditionings for his fists and stuff like that for his shins, but I don't think he does the iron palm specific training because it's just not something. Actually, it's something he should do, but he doesn't, or he could do, but he doesn't do, because it would help his hands get even stronger. But that's all he needs at the moment, so that's good for him to do those things. Yeah. Well, that's my breakfast thoroughly digested, I think. And I think I'll probably go and start doing some training now. I've got to go and also buy my wife something for her birthday. Wannabe martial artist, he says he's been wanting to go to a bunch of Chinese restaurants to get chopsticks for his shins and arms. Yeah, man. Well, here locally, I just buy these bamboo canes. These things. You've probably seen it before. I just buy these bamboo canes. Yeah. So I've got a long bamboo cane. I wish this end spawns a natural handle because these two were just shorter. And these bamboo canes are great for all kinds of striking on the body, because it's a long cane. You can hold it, strike on the body, twisting, gripping. It's awesome. Yeah. Old Shaolin exercises, great stuff. So that's all you need. It's a little bit evil on the shins, but you can always put a little towel around the end. Put a little bit of padding just to take that initial sting away, and you use it on the forearm bones. You can use it on the bones. You can use it on the chest. So you can make yourself, with a few garden canes that you've probably got outside, bound at one end. You can even put like I said, a little bit of toweling around the other end. You can make yourself a really cheap, easy striker to start training your shins and your bones of your arms, and like start training your body with. like wood element from the 5 elements of Kung Fu conditioning training. But okay, guys, hey, look, it's been great chatting to you. Oh yeah, so yeah, let me know what you're thinking about price point for the Iron Body Martial Arts course there. Like I said, it is going to be retailing for just slightly less than $70, but yeah, that just has to sort of, at the moment, it has to kind of be that way to cover all the other costs. But yeah, we'll see. Good day, good training, everyone. So we'll see. But yeah, keep an eye out. Thanks for tuning into the channel, and yeah, keep up the good training. If I go and do some training on this tree today, which I will do actually, no, I won't post it up today. I'll probably post it up one of the other days. But anyway, guys, look, have a good one. Denny Crane, continue the good work. Wannabe martial artist, continue the good work, my friend. I saw your workout that you placed up. You certainly just kept going, and I'm sure you'll be shedding the pounds and reaching your goals. Everyone else, thank you for turning up. SB, we've had quite a few people on there. Who else did we get? JP Master Tech, if you're around still, thanks a lot. Some good points. Who else did we have? I think that's it. Excellent. All right. Yeah, okay, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Keep up the good training. And remember, it's your journey. It's whatever you want to do. Don't let people tell you what you can't do, what don't let people tell you, don't do this, don't do that. And also, I'll leave you with this point. It's about being just better. It's about being just a better version of you. Yeah. Now, as cheesy as that sounds, everyone says it, but that's all. That Master Tech. That's all that counts, isn't it? Yeah. So don't get hung up on what I do, what that guy does. That goes for everything. What he does, what this guy, whatever. Me or you doing these things today are better than the me or you who didn't do them today. All right? And the same goes for tomorrow, and the same goes for the next day. So any small thing you can do to better yourself every day makes you better than the you who didn't do those things. That's all that counts. Yeah? Because I've had so many people come over and flame me over the years about traditional training and horse stance and this and that and iron palm and it's garbage. But at the end of the day, their substitute for that would have been just me doing nothing. So I'd be sitting here now, and instead of telling you about iron palm and iron fist and having the Iron Body Martial Arts course and all these years later, I would just be sitting here. Well, I wouldn't be sitting here, wouldn't I? Because no one would be sitting here, well, not that, no one would be sitting here listening to me talk about how I've done a whole lot of nothing. Although there's many YouTube channels way more famous than mine that seem to do that and sit there and just talk about a whole lot of nothing. But that's cool. That's entertainment. So yeah, guys. And that's another thing I'd say, to extend to your training, extend to your life, and extend to your iron palm, extend to all your goals. You just be better. Try and be a little bit better today than the version of you that didn't do anything. So if you're sitting at home now and you're like, man, this iron palm and all of that's great, and all this and all these martial arts guys are great, but I can't do this. I've got an injury. I've got whatever. We've all got those things. If you're sitting at home and that's how you feel, well, then just pick one thing today. Just pick one thing, even if it's only one thing, just that you think will make you better today. Now that could be writing something. That could be writing that story that you wanted to write. It could be learning that particular thing you wanted to learn. It could be reading that article online that will teach you this. It could be 10 press-ups. It could be 10 sit-ups. It could be going to one of my videos and copying some of the stuff. Going to Athlean X or any of the other fitness videos and doing a little mini workout, just anything. It could be going and doing some breathing training, study the Wim Hof method, learn how to cook a meal. Just literally, it doesn't matter what it is. That's the funny thing is actually, we probably all know Kung Fu in its essence. We all know the old adage. Kung Fu just means a hard attained skill. Something that you've worked at, so it's cheesy as it sounds. You can have Kung Fu at anything. You can have Kung Fu at a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be punching someone. It doesn't have to be going outside and smashing a boxing bag. Whatever it is to you. And to that extent, train whatever you want to train. If you want to train yoga and that's how you find your thing and that's your Kung Fu, that's your Zen, you train your yoga. That'll make you stronger. It'll make your stances more powerful. It'll make your body better. It'll make your alignment better. And ultimately, it'll make you more resilient as a human being, and it'll make you better able to defend yourself just from doing yoga. Or how can I better defend myself just from doing yoga? Well, because you're a more resilient, stronger, more capable individual than you were the day before, or you were when you didn't. JP Master Tech says the key is to keep yourself challenged. Keep yourself challenged. Look, in this world of monotony that we live in with 9 to 5 drudgery, give yourself an escape. Where is that? And to my friend, the wannabe martial artist, and to any guys listening, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. I'd say that for the Iron Palm course. If you guys do it, don't put too much pressure on yourself, and just let consistency and repetition. Those are your friends. Consistency, repetition, effort. Those are your friends. Don't worry about what the other guy does. Don't worry about trying to do this. Just do that. Anyway, all right, guys. I'm going to head off. If you guys got any more questions or any video stuff that you want to see or whatever, send me a message or post it up. If you go on the community section of the YouTube, there's lots of ways to send me messages. Just chuck a message on any video, and it usually comes up on my YouTube studio thing. Thanks for all your support on the channel, guys. The channel has been growing. It's 8,000 and something now, which is cool. In the last couple of months, it's probably grown more than it has in a long time, which is really good. So that's all thanks to people just kind of being around and supporting and watching and liking and sharing and stuff. So yeah. But anyway, good talking to everyone. And we've covered a cool array of topics, and I'm going to go now because otherwise my wife won't have birthday presents and I will get in trouble. And then no amount of Iron Palm will save me. Anyone who's married knows precisely what I mean. All right. Okay, guys. Have a good one. If I can work out how to close this thing down. Here it is. Bang.